All right, I got a list. It goes something like Reggie, Jay-Z, Tupac, Biggie. Here's the point. I've got my list. It's right here. And today we're actually doing my top tier builder list for 2025. I think this is going to be fun. I've got like almost 40 of them here on the list. I'm going to share on the screen and kind of show you what we're talking about, how we're going to look at it, how we're going to quantify them if you're looking at building. These builders are going to cover all price points, so like 300 to almost up to $1 million. So, and also here's the thing, two things. One, I didn't get every single builder in North Texas in this video. I got as many as I could, or as many as I have personally had clients do business with, or have sold to, or whatever. So if I miss somebody, that doesn't mean they're terrible. That doesn't mean they're amazing. It just means I forgot about them. It's my bad. Second, these are my opinion, so it is what it is. I sell a lot of real estate here in DFW. If we haven't met before, my name is Zach. That's what my team and I specialize in, specifically new construction real estate, whether you're buying from a builder's inventory or you are building from the ground up. So I kind of, I'm entitled to my opinion. You're here, whatever. I'm going to share with you my screen and kind of share with you my fun list. So I think you will enjoy this. Also, I got to give you some like qualifiers on how my tiers work, right? Because I've got 1, 2, 3, I got 6 tiers on the list, and they're not just like A, B, C, D, E, because that would be boring. Nobody wants to sit through that. So I'm going to show you, it's kind of going to be a mix. So it's like my thinking of how I qualify things. Let me show you what we're rocking with, and then we'll kind of get started together. So here we go. I got the list. So here's what we're working with on Zach's 2025 builder top tier list to go. So category wise, up at the top, this is like top tier. This is brisket perfection. Just like, that brisket that you're just like, yeah, brisket perfection. It's also like a top shelf where mama hides the cookies. Like it's the cookie jar in the top shelf. This for me, like I'm kind of mixing like food and pop culture and a little bit of hockey because that's kind of what I love. And so that's what makes sense to me. So brisket top shelf, this is like watching somebody skate in on a breakaway and going short side bar down on a goalie. And it's just, it's so good. Absolute best, like the house building equivalent of just a mouth-watering perfect brisket. This is where you want to be. So we got a couple that make the list here. Second down is going to be simply, we're going to call that one y'all come on in. Now here's what I got on my notes about that. It's like, this is kind of a fantastic choice, worthy of being at the top. Maybe not quite legendary just yet, but we're going to get them there eventually. So, but close. So think of it like excellent, really good barbecue, but not quite making you weep with joy, call your mom, but you'll gladly still get in on this one. So these are some, they're like, I love these. These are still really solid options. I'm going to pause right there and also say that honestly, if you're in the top 5 tiers, well, really top 4 for sure, but top 5 probably solid. My 6th one down at the bottom, well, yeah, we're just not gonna do that. All right, so back to sharing the screen. So that's number 2. So we've got brisket perfection, top shelf. Y'all come on in, still really solid. Number 3 is Zamboni needed. And so if you're like, you don't know what hockey is, Zamboni is the machine that comes out at the end of the period and like puts down new ice so that they're ready to go, right? This is like my middle of the pack. So my notes I've got says they've got the basics covered, but the ice, a little scruffed, and they need maybe a good refresh, maybe some changes. It's a decent build that might need something a little bit extra. There's some finishing work to shine. There's some real good potential there, but just, keep your eyes open, be aware of what's going on. So that's number 3. Number 4, we're down at the purple. This is my almost, y'all. Almost. Like you got so close, like glimmers of greatness, so much potential, but just missing that one final touch. It's like, barbecue that's almost there, but like the sauce is wrong, right? Or, the sides are like, you go to the barbecue place and the sides are just not feeling it. Or maybe like go to a Mexican restaurant and the fajitas were good, but the salsa was blah, right? So missing a final touch, just like imagine tasting that barbecue, almost there. Like in hockey terms, this is like you almost got the overtime winner and then you gave it up, right? Like you missed it wide to the outside. You got the shot right there, could have had it, and you let it go. Almost, not yet. Almost. Number 5, this is where it kind of gets a little dicey. Again, not terrible yet, not terrible. This is, hey, we're skating on some thin ice. This is like, hey, you messed up. You might have put, you might have done something weird with the cooking, and it's like you're actually getting demoted to like plates and cups at the cookout. Like you're kind of there, or like you screwed up and like coach isn't letting you play kind of thing, So this is the like risky sort of stage, kind of the almost like laughing so we don't cry. Almost. It's kind of there. Laughing so we don't cry territory. Could unravel relatively fast if you're not careful. Maybe the bones are okay, but you're going to spend more time, money, and effort fixing things that you don't like and dealing with some unexpected issues. And then lastly, my tier number 6, and I've only got a couple that actually sit in this tier, is the van down by the river tier. Like the bottom rung, like the burnt ends, like barbecue, the disastrous reality, the one thing that like show meltdown and a major penalty for fighting rolled all up into one, and then you got the embellishment call on top of that. Like van down by the river might be a better option than buying from this particular builder. You'd literally rather have, Chris Farley show up and be like, you're gonna live in a van down by the river.
And I live in a van down by the river.
Than be here. But, and I'm not gonna go in any particular order. So like if you're looking, I got my notes over here, did a lot of research for you guys. A lot of this is based on experiences we've had with clients or people that we've talked to. Again, sell a lot of new construction, so I think we're going to talk about it. And I have no particular order. We're going to fill them all in, have a little fun while we go. Let's just start. Let me share my screen again. Here we go. Put the chart back up. Let's start with... We want to come out swinging hot. Let's put somebody in a van. Like I would rather live in a van down by the river. And listen, if you've been around me at all, if you've heard me talk at all on my channel, and this is not your first time experiencing me, this one is not going to surprise you when I come right here and I just go whoop and put them right there. Not great customer service, cheaply built, not a fan. Used to be really good. Like quality-wise, once known for their really, really great customer service. But some of the recent leadership changes, some of the decisions they've made, I can't with them. And it would be it's limited design selection, limited choices, like limited customer service. We might be better off living in a van down by the river for that one. So there's that. I'm gonna check them off. So make sure because like I said, I got like 40 of them here, so I got to make sure we get everybody, and I cover all my notes. So we'll go there. Let's just work our way up. Give me somebody skating on thin ice, and this one for me would probably be. I got 1, 2, 3. I got 5 of them that belong in this category, so I got to give y'all one of them, and we will start. Let's start right here. This is Pointe Homes, and I'm gonna put them in my skating on thin ice category, and here's why. And it's like, for me, I just kind of feel uninspired. I don't feel anything amazing. Like there's some builders in my list and others, like you walk into their homes and it's just like, whoa, this is awesome. And then especially like your budget goes up and you walk in and you're like, oh, this is awesome. Or even some of these, you're like, you don't have like a crazy budget and you're like, oh, I'm getting all of this for what I see here. This is incredible. I don't really feel that way with Pointe. Also, maybe it's a bad taste from a personal experience. Had some ex-clients that were supposed to close with them last year that didn't close with them, and it wasn't the builder's fault. So I will say this: it was not the builder's fault that they didn't close. It was our client's fault. They kind of got weird. And if you've been around, like if you're one of my people and you're watching this and we talked about this story on. I think it was on my Instagram, and it was probably on my TikTok. But if you know, you know, and this one we buckle up. Pointe, again, maybe that was part of it, but also like I feel like their elevations are a little bit dated, their design's a little bit dated. They've kind of moved to more some of their package stuff, and I don't really care for it. So also, as we go through these, some of these are gonna get naturally just gonna get more explanation. And so I guarantee somebody's gonna be in my comments and be like, Zach, you didn't say a lot about them. Like, yeah, I didn't have a lot to say. So let's keep working our way up. We've got an almost And almost, y'all remember, this is like, hey, we're so close. They've got some potential. My 4 and above categories, I have no problem with you buying from my 4 and above categories. Like anybody that you call me, hey, I like these 4 and above. Cool. Again, I'm just trying to give you some perspective on, and it gets hard. Like we're splitting hairs on some of these things. So 4 and above, back to the screen. Let's put in, let's go right here, and I'll give you, right here, boom. We're gonna give my friends from Castle Rock, they're gonna make it to almost, y'all, almost. Again, similar kind of thing with TriPoint. No bad feelings. I think they've got a good quality home. There's some stuff I'm just like, again, I'm not super impressed, not wowed off my feet, so it's got to exist somewhere. And so that's kind of where it's going to exist. And then I think too, as we add some to each of these lists, we'll probably have to go back and score a little bit more within those categories, because I think there's some clarity within those categories. So we're going to add somebody to the Zamboni needed category. This is my like category 3. So basics covered. Ice is kind of scuffed. They may need a little bit of a refresh. May need a little bit of changes here and there. Decent choice right there. This one, my first one in this category, we're gonna put my friends at KHOV right solidly in this Zamboni needed category. Here's the thing with them. I love it or hate it. They have moved to full like package design. So it's more like, hey, we like farmhouse look L, and it's like, okay, cool, that's what we want to put in our house. On the plus side, it makes it very transparent and straightforward of what your pricing is going to be and what you're going to get. So I do like it for that sense. I do like it that the packages actually look really, really good, and I like the design of them. The challenge for me is more personal. Like I feel like when you get above a certain price point, maybe it's $450, maybe it's $500, and you're buying a home, I feel like you should, like, doing the design, I feel like goes a long way. Right? It's I don't know how to articulate that, but it just kind of goes a long way for me. So big national builder, and I think they have a really good like entry level product that I think can be good. Again, the design thing is neither here nor there. Honestly, I do think they get a bad rap nationally. I think they've got a little bit better of a reputation here locally in North Texas, but that's kind of the challenge when you build in multiple different markets, right? Like I think that just happens. And of course, we always take reviews online with a grain of salt. And if you like them, let's go check it out. I've sold several of them, have some clients that absolutely love their home. And I think they build a really beautiful home. They are also one of the only builders that has a lot of like next gen suite homes. So where it's like on the front side of the house, it's like an apartment style kitchenette, living room, separate entry kind of thing. So if you're looking for something where you can put aging parents, or you have a child that just never left the home and you want to give them a place to live so they don't live in a van down by the river, KHOV would be a good option, especially in some of those northern communities, and like Elevon and Levon, it would fit right there. Okay, let's get on in. Y'all come on in. So this one for me is like again, fantastic. Not the superior rated, best all around, everything you could ever want, but still super good. And I love some of their quality, love some of the things they're doing. And let's get this one right here. This is going to be for me. This is going to be, where's it at? This is going to be Shaddock. Shaddock is, I think they've got some great design, elegant design, some good reviews, good customer service. Every time we've walked their models or walked their inventories, I've had clients that have loved what they've seen. Almost had a deal put together with them recently, but kind of went a different direction. So I think for them, they're on that y'all come in list, local Texas kind of feel to it. And I'm going to buck my trends a little bit. I'm going to skip this tier. I'm not going to put anybody here yet. We're going to kind of work back through. Let's actually go fill in these two right here, and then we'll come back, and then I'll leave what's left kind of for the end, and maybe you'll be surprised. So let's fill in our Zamboni needed section. Again, my middle of the pack, not bad, but I think there's some options there for you if it makes sense. So we've got KHOV in there. Let's add some people to that party. If I could find my mouse, there we go. We're gonna add to that party. Who else is next on my list? Ooh, this will be a good one. On the Zamboni needed, we're gonna add Riverside, home builders right there in our space. And actually, we're gonna leave them just like that. They've got, here's what I like about Riverside. They're doing some stuff on some larger properties, so some third of acres, some actual full acre, like out in Roy City area, out toward like Nevada, Vaughn, Josephine. They've got some good stuff. They also spray foam their stuff. Great customer service, and I do find that the value for what you're spending is there. I think they're going to continue to expand with the way that they're building. So Riverside is kind of quietly right there on that mid tier for me. So I would definitely say let's take a look at them. Let's give them kind of a second look. So we've got Riverside. Number 3, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 7 that sit in this category right here. Next one, let's go right here. Kindred for me sits in this kind of right in the mid tier. They built a beautiful, beautiful home. They remind me honestly of like what old DR Horton homes were, right? Like when DR Horton was still did some quality stuff, and that's because they actually are Hortons. They are. It's a different branch of the Horton family. I mean that they're all connected, but so Kindred I think is a good solid home builder, puts us right there in the middle, and they build a beautiful home. Next one on the list right here in my solid middle tier group is going to be the Pulte group, Pulte Homes. I like what they've got going on. I think they're a large national builder. Had a client build with them last year. Had a really, really pleasant experience. Customer service wise, they did a good job. Our community manager, our sales manager was great. The biggest challenge I think I had with this one was I remember going through their design studio and feeling very limited in the selections that they had for their design. I mean, this home in particular, I think there ended up being almost north of 600, and looking at what their selections were in the design center compared to some of the other builders, I felt like it was lacking for what it was. But from a internal standpoint, from a quality standpoint, like we had a really good experience. So that's kind of why Pulte ends up right there. Similar one, kind of the basic same sentiment would also be Beazer. They've got a really good home. They've built a really good reputation, but again, kind of the same sentiment I had with Pulte. As we kind of did design, it felt a little limited in the selections for us. Now the next two that round out our mid tier right here, you see them also like here lately. You're seeing them together. Like if you see one, you see the other, which I think is an important point to make. Like, what's interesting to me is if you take my list and you look at my tiers and then you look at where development is happening and who's grouped together, my groupings are almost eerily similar to like how developers invite builders to the party. It's almost like they understand and they know everybody's kind of quality sort of fits together. So these next two have sold a ton with both of these. Both of them are going to have really, really great incentives. Both of them are going to have really great uses of space, really great, I said incentives already, really great uses of space. They're going to put out a ton of inventory. They're going to be able to close homes quickly. The challenge with them is they are not going to sell at dirt. So you're not going to get to go pick it at lot and pick the floor plan and pick all your changes. They basically kind of churn and burn, right? So they're closing homes a ton. They don't sell them really till they get to frame stage, which benefits means like A, they've always got inventory on the ground, and B, means they can incentivize really, really well. The challenge with that is like you kind of get what you get, and there's no differentiation. There's a couple different packages, so you're really just picking floor plan, package, and location and timeline. And so it's these two that go in my Zamboni needed section. Number 1 is going to be Meritage, and then right next to Meritage is going to be right here. It's going to be Trophy Signature. You see them partnered a lot right now together. So like where you see one, you see the other. Trophy's styling tends to run a little bit more modern, whereas Meritage styling runs a little bit more traditional. Both of them solid options. Like I said, sold a ton with both of those builders last year. Have clients looking at them this year, and I think it will be a good fit for you in this kind of mid-level tier. So does that wrap it up in that tier? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on my list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the middle. If we were to roll this into like ranking like even further right here, I think I would go something like this. I think it would go here. That moves to the front. And then, no, wait, Trophy goes to the front, Chaos, move. And then I would say Riverside. Ooh, well, that's hard. I think I would do this. I think I would keep it, move right there. Okay. And then I would go Riverside, and then, yep, that's how it would sit. Again, we're splitting hairs, right? We're trying to make it work the best we can. So at this point, let's go all the way down to the bottom. I've got 2 more that fit in our bottom tier, and let's just get them out of here so we can kick the van down by the river and move on with our lives. The first one that goes right in this squarely in the bottom is my friends right there, Starlight. This is the base level plans for Ashton Woods. I've walked them a couple times, and at the end of the day, they feel like there's some homes that you buy and you feel like you're getting incredible value for the money you're spending. Then there's some homes you buy that you're like, okay, this definitely feels like a starter home, and that is the best way I know how to say that with them is that right there. It just kind of feels very much like this is a starter home. That, you know, it's things like we've got carpet in weird areas. Like I walked one a couple of weeks ago and there was carpet in the living room, and I'm like, nobody puts carpet in living rooms anymore. It's weird, especially from a builder. And then like the tub, it was, you know, it was not tiled. It was like a shower insert kit. And I'm like, guys, we could be better. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time down on the bottom because I've got way too many really good ones to fill in with for you. So there's that one. And then we will round out our, hey, I would prefer to live in a van down by the river. Then we're going to put Megatel right there. Now, if you would have asked me this like 6 years ago or 7 years ago, 2015, 2016, 2017, I'd say, yeah, Megatel built a really good home. But now they're doing some like weird lagoon communities, and I really haven't seen a lot going on there yet. Maybe it'll get better. But for now, I think I would lean the other direction. So, skating on thin ice. This is my reminder. We're laughing so we don't cry. Things could fall apart quickly here if you're not careful, but also you have the potential for something to be really, really good here. Got my notes on one side, I got you guys up here. Okay, so things could fall apart here, a little bit risky, but there's also some potential for something to be really good. And now the first, I've got a couple more. So I got one already in there. I got 1, 2, 3, I got 4 more to fill in on this one. And I'm gonna leave my most controversial one for last, and then I'm just gonna kind of fill in. So like UnionMain, we're gonna put them right here on the skating right on thin ice. Here's my thing with them, is maybe another like a personal thing. They had a lot of turnover that I'm aware of in their sales staff and their build staff, and so it's like it's a volatile business as it is. But when there's a lot of turnover, it starts making you ask questions. You're like, what's going on? Why is that? Why are people leaving? You know, made some friends in the industry that might have gotten done wrong. That was part of it. So it's like, again, culture leaks, right? So when we see that, it's like, okay, well, what does that mean in terms of quality of home? I would also say we live in a neighborhood that they were one of the other builders. I've walked a lot of their plans. I think they've got some really good floor plans, but a lot of while we're getting in these lower tiers is I just don't feel impressed. Like it doesn't wow me. It's just kind of like, it feels generic. It feels like, hey, we're not really standing out amongst the crowd. And so, yeah, we'll put them there. We got them there. We got, let's do impression. They're going to go there. It's kind of skating on thin ice a little bit, you know, could use a little bit of refresh. Very similar feel. I think they're a good solid starter home comparative to like some of, you know, I would buy them before I bought here. Like I said before, my first 5 tiers, you know, were kind of okay. Really, it's the 6th tier for me, and it's like, I'm out. I do think they're trying to cost save, like everybody trying to maximize profit. So at a starter home, I think that's something I would consider, but if your budget allows it, I think I would move on rather quickly if I could. So we got them. I got 2 more to put in, and this one, where's it at? It's we're gonna go right here to my friends. I rail on them a lot. Like I'm not gonna, yeah. And here's what I'll say: we've bought 2 of them personally. Like we bought 2 DR Horton homes in 2 different markets. They're not the worst thing to ever happen. They're not the best. especially as they continue to grow and expand. Like, I would just be highly cautious. I would make sure I get inspections. I would ask lots of questions. If you have the budget that allows, north of, 400, there are definitely better options. If you're in that starter home space, and the challenge is they tend to have a monopoly in a lot of those places, then, I would look at it and consider it. But for me, I think there's too much cookie cutter. It's all the same. And especially when they own the whole neighborhood and there's no competition, and then the challenge is you're trying to resell in a couple years, it makes it really hard on the resale side. A lot of those homes tend to become rental properties, whether by individuals or by third-party investors or whatever. So it just kind of tends to build out a rental style community. So for that, they're going to skate on thin ice. My last one that I think fits right here in my thin ice category, and this one is probably going to be a hot take, and it's probably going to make some people not happy. But again, it's my opinion. I can have my own opinions. And we're going to swing right down here, and we're going to grab our friends at Grand, and we're going to skate them right there on thin ice. And here's the thing. Grand builds a architecturally beautiful home. Like, you walk into those homes and you're like, yeah, this is a Grand home. They're inspired by some modern architecture of famous places, and they've got all of this stuff. They've got so much forward-thinking design, some great inspiration, but everything is an upgrade. Everything. And so you walk in, it almost feels a little bit bait and switchy, right? Like, so you walk into their model homes, and their model homes are gorgeous, like drop dead 10 out of 10. Oh my gosh, they've done everything they can to them. But then you take the same floor plan and you go walk it as like a spec build. It almost feels like you went to a totally different builder, and it makes it hard, right? So again, I think everything is an upgrade. Base pricing, I think, is a little bit misleading, and customers have had some varying experiences, visually stunning, but structurally, I think they get more visual than they do structural, right? And so that's why they're gonna skate on thin ice with me. So we've filled out our bottom tiers. So now, we gotta go almost again. So this one, glimmers of greatness, missing those final touches. We're almost at the edge. We've got Castle Rock in there. I'm gonna kind of blow through this one, really see if we can pick up some speed here and get going on this one. So number one that goes in this, or number two, oh wait, I gotta go back and I need to rank my skating on thin ice. So actually, the only thing I'm gonna move, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm actually gonna do this. They're gonna go here, and I'm gonna leave it just like that. That's how we're gonna leave it ranked on my skating on thin ice. So almost, y'all, again, we're close. So we're gonna kind of blow through these really quick. Next one going in right here, Brightland. So used to be really great customer service. They sold, rebranded. Not sure that they've kind of picked it up yet on the customer service. Jury's still out. I do like some of their designs. I have seen some really great incentives from them. So they're going to live in the almost, just not quite there yet. Next one that's going to live there for me is American Legend. Right there. Good quality customer service, but I think is a little bit lacking in their design. Not super modern, also not really my taste. And the challenge with them is they're mostly contained to the northern part of the Metroplex. So if you're not looking to be in the northern part of the Metroplex, you're probably not going to find a lot of American Legend homes. Also, next, First Texas. First Texas is one of those ones for me that you can immediately, you can spot it, you know it. They're very castle-like. They've been using some of the same plans for years and years and years and years and years. And they finally, one of the things I think that's helping them right now is that got them to here is not here. They finally kind of updated their catalog, and they've made a little bit more of a modern design. They had a lot of options when it comes to customization, but similar to Grand, I think they get really pretty, but I think maybe the internals lack a little bit. Not too bad, but same floor plans, might need a little bit of a refresh. And again, this tier and above, I'm not calling anybody his baby ugly. I'm not telling you to avoid them. I'm just, we're just kind of going and seeing what we feel. So we got our First Texas one there. Oh, and I got two more that need to exist right in here. It's going to be HistoryMaker goes there for me. It's almost. This HistoryMaker for me is ideal for a first-time buyer. They do a really great job of maximizing square footage and space and giving that first-time buyer everything they can at a lower price point. So I love that with them. They also have a lot of communities that are like siding full wraps instead of brick, which is kind of a nice differentiation, and usually have good incentives, but they do everything they can to maximize all that at lower pricing, which means things like the niceties of the home kind of get stripped away a little bit. So that's kind of why they're going to exist there. The last one that I think exists there, it might be a hot take, it might not be. It's going to be my friends over at Toll Brothers. And we're just going to say here in DFW, really all they build is the expensive product anyway. Like, I don't think in DFW you can touch them for under $500 or $600. And their persona is that they want to be $1 million home. Like that's just the persona that they want. I personally think that they are like pretty, like that they have a pretty home, but they get hammered on customer service. They get hammered on quality. They get some heat, like maybe a little bit of lackluster on value comparative to some other ones that are kind of at the top of the list that are in a similar price point for them. Yeah, beautiful design, beautiful curb appeal, but that's about it with them for me. So, that we'll leave that at that. All right, now we get into the fun part. I got my top 2 tiers. My y'all come on in. Again, fantastic choices here. Like almost right there. Like you're not ready to call your mom and tell her it's the greatest brisket sandwich you ever had in your life, but still an excellent choice. You're not going to go wrong with them. And so I'm going to actually kind of just fill in my last 2. So for reference, I have 4 for me that make my top list, my top shelf brisket perfection, bar down, on a breakaway, win the Stanley Cup. If you can find them in your price point, you should guarantee to look at them. There's 4 of them right now that sit there for me. And this list is fluid, right? Like based on what happens and experiences and what's going on, like the list changes. And so we'll update this as we go. So I'm actually, let's fill in one of our top tier homes, home builders that goes on the list for me. And top tier number 1 is actually gonna be, we're gonna go eeny meeny miny mo, where you at? Here we go. Mr. Windsor Homes. They're gonna go on the top tier right there for me. And the reason being is it's a little bit of a higher price point. They have a little bit longer build time, but the reason they have a little bit longer build time is because they allow for custom changes. And so Windsor, on their floor plans, especially some of their communities out in Rockwall, they've got a couple of really beautiful communities in Rockwall that they're building. They've got a couple floor plans. They've got a 1-story floor plan that's the model at Winding Creek. Actually, it just opened. We haven't shot it. We shot Winding Creek, but we haven't shot that model yet. I need to show it to you because it's awesome. But anyway, they allow for custom changes. So if you're like, hey, we want to bump this wall out by 3 feet and we want to raise the ceiling by 4 feet, cool. You're going to pay for it. You're going to pay for the architectural fee and you're going to pay the difference on the changes, but they're going to allow you to do it. Customer service, top notch. Selections, great. Do wish they had a little bit better on incentive money, but we're going to fill them in right here and then we'll adjust. So going in the y'all come on in, this one for me is going to be almost y'all, almost. Coventry needs to get added to the list right here. Another builder got bought a couple years ago by a bigger company out of Florida. From what I've heard from sales reps and from what we've experienced, the ability to do custom changes and stuff that they used to be able to do has gone away as they've gotten more corporate. They do have a phenomenal like interior of the wall structure. Like structurally that home is solid, but what you get in structure you kind of lose in standard features and finish out, and it feels a little bit underwhelming, especially for some of the pricing that they're looking at. Customer service experiences have varied, and again, especially as they have been bought out in the last couple of years. So that was like, why is that still down there? So that one goes right there. So back up to my top tier. My top 2 tiers, we're gonna go and we're gonna fill in a y'all come on in and listen. Y'all need to come on in and go to a Drees home, Drees Custom Homes. That we need to get some. It's got some modern looks. Another one that's doing some larger properties. So like they've got half acre and acre stuff in Sunnyvale, which I think is beautiful. They continue to hold up to the test of time. Good customer experience, even though they call themselves like custom. They have great floor plans and they continue to adapt to new trends. So they're going to live in the y'all come on in. We're going to fill them in right there. Joining the party with them, we've already got Shaddock. We've got them. Let's get my friends over at GFO. So GFO is going to get the y'all come in. Another builder I love. I haven't sold anything with them yet, but I've had some clients look, and I've shot some of their models, talked to some of their sales teams. Their models, their design, I really do like their design. So GFO is the other brother, the other Guillen brother, Guillen that became Brightland, that guy. Love some of their design. And I'm not even showing you on my screen. We ain't even seeing it updated. So here it is back updated. Love their design. Love what they're putting together. So if you want to be my first client to buy a GFO home, would love to help you do that, because I think they've got some really good stuff there. Y'all come on in. We're going to keep welcoming people to the party. The next three going in this category kind of are connected. Like they're separate companies, but they kind of all have their roots put together. They do some really good stuff with their floor plans. The interesting thing with them, and we'll just put it up there and I'll show you. So going in, my y'all come in first is going to be my friends over at Bloomfield. They're going right there. Make sure I get everything. I think some of their floor plans and designs stand out like for in a good way. One of my challenges with them is I feel a little bit dated in their color selections and some of the things they put in. Again, personal preference. It has nothing to do with the quality or the customer service, because that has been awesome. What I will say about them is they function a little bit differently than a lot of builders do. So a lot of builders, their sales staff that work in the office are paid, all of them, everybody's paid on commission, right? But the sales staff in the office is paid like a flat percentage, whatever. Bloomfield, they kind of negotiate on, like, they have a lot of freedom because each sales team and builder understands how much profit they need to make on every deal. And so they have a lot of leeway to negotiate. More so, like, and a lot of these other builders, it's like, hey, we have what we call back pocket money. We know we can get X amount of dollars here, but anything beyond that, we got to go to management, ask questions, and see if they'll say yes. Bloomfield is one of those ones, like, they have a lot of autonomy in their neighborhood to do the things that they need to do to feel like they can sell homes. So if you're on the good side with the salesperson, you might be able to get a really good deal with a Bloomfield home. Just putting that out there. Next, I'm going to give you like the Bloomfield cousins. So like these two companies were connected to Bloomfield at one point or another. They've kind of stepped off and done their own thing, but they exist in the same category for the same reason that Bloomfield does, and that would be Astoria right here. They're going to go there, and Stonehollow Homes. So both of those have product in like the neighborhood space, like 40, 50, 60 foot lot space. Both of them also have product in the acreage space. So good design. Astoria's got some acreage stuff toward like Greenville that we had some people buy with last year and had a great experience. Stonehollow is doing acreage to the north, like so Van Alstyne, Nevada. I will say one of my challenges kind of with them is for the price point. It's that feeling of like there was good design selections, but I still felt like there was things that were just missing. So that's why they kind of sit in that, like, they're not quite like they're there, but they're not there, right? It's you should have been able to ask for this thing, or for a perfect example, I had some clients that were designing their home and they wanted to go to a black interior package. And it's like, okay, great, we can do that. Here's the one option. And it's like, well, no, we want to go black interior with like squared off handles. And it's like, no, we can't do that. We can do black interior and they're going to be the little curvy little handles. And I'm like, that's such a simple, like, you're so close. Like, so they're good, but I think they need to add some more selection to their catalog. And I think the same thing with Astoria as well. Before I finish out my one here, let's go up and see my friends up at the top. Let's add somebody up to the top list, the top shelf perfection, based on what we have left. And it's going to be the guys and ladies over at Perry Britton Homes. They're beautiful. They truly are. The design, that English, that high facade with the high peaks on the roof, especially for the one stories. I love their design. I love the fact that they're local to Texas. That, I think, you kind of see a trend in my list, like builders that are more national kind of fall. The localized Texas ones, I think, do really, really well. I do also love that with Perry, they do a 2-year workmanship warranty. So not many builders do that. A lot of them do once, and it's 2 years. Also with them, you'll find even in their like $300,000 to $400,000 communities, so like their Devonshires, their Reunions, their like the standard features are still really, really good. I've sold Perry homes that are 1,500 square feet, and I've sold Perry homes that are like 3,700 square feet, and the value for the money is like they do a really good job of designing floor plans, of packing as much value in and loading their standard features down. So that's why they're going to end up on my brisket top shelf perfection where mama hides the cookies section. So we'll finish up the second tier because I got two of the things. We got 5 left. 2 of them are going to end up in the top tier. 3 of them are going to end up on our like right below it on the top tier. Next one coming to our second level right here is going to be Chesmar Homes. Have some friends and clients that are getting ready to close with them, and we've had a great experience with their customer service, with their design. They do all of their design in-house in the neighborhood, which makes it great for selections because you know exactly what's available. They are based out of Houston, so they're really big in the Houston market. They're expanding in the Dallas market, and I need them to just kind of keep rolling and come on and put some more stuff on the ground out here. I think they're expanding. I think they're revamping. They also have a really good entry-level price point, and I think they're adding some things at those higher price points, but trying to keep the price fair while adding features and while adding design. So Chesmar wins out right there for me. And I think, I'm not entirely sure, but I think I've seen in their catalog, they're another one of those builders that does a next gen style like home with the mother-in-law suite. So they're going to live there. Rounding out our, y'all come on in, this is going to be a great choice. We have, we're going to go Pacesetter, we're going to put them right there. I've talked about them before on my channel. I do a lot of business with them. Another builder that we personally have built a home with. I think they do a lot of things really well. Their team, like culture-wise, from a sales team, from their management, from their builders, some of the nicest people that you'll work with. Like you spend enough time in this industry, and you find the people who know, like that are in this to care about people. They're in this to make a difference, or the ones that are just in here to make a paycheck, right? And the team, like the Pacesetter team, their sales staff, like every time I bring clients in, it doesn't matter if we go to Forney, it doesn't matter if we go to Levant, it doesn't matter if we go to Aubrey or Little Elm. Their team constantly like it's good people, and I love that about them. I love the quality of the homes that they build. I think that they're continuing to expand. The reason why they sit here for me on the second level and they didn't make the top level is if I'm honest, I think some of their floor plans have some weird quirks to them. Like I said, I live in one of their homes, but I think they've got a couple weird like fireplaces that might be off center. You know, like I'm literally looking at my room, my office that I'm sitting in right now. It makes like a weird like L thing kind of coming in. Like it comes like this and like this. It's like, well, kind of weird. But I think they're learning, they're figuring it out, and I think they're revamping some plans. But like from a customer service, from quality, from their lending, cannot say enough good things about them. So we're down to 3, and I told you 2 of them are going to the top, and 1 of them is going to finish out our y'all come in. So let's do another one that goes on my top builders, and it is going to be Elmwood Custom Homes. So similar to what I said about Windsor, they are a builder they're building on larger lots, acreage, half acre. They're also doing custom changes, and their styling and design is gorgeous. It's that like modern farmhousey look. I have some clients right now, we're working through a build for them. I'm so excited to see the potential of the home that they're going to build and all the options that they have. They build a beautiful home and a great team, customer service wise experience. My only complaint with them right now is they're only in the south and the west. So they're big in like Aledo, Waxahachie, Mansfield area. Like Elmwood, if anybody on y'all's team is watching my videos, I don't know if you do. If you're watching it, we would love to have you on the east side of town. We would love to have you up north. I think there's some great opportunity, and people would buy the crap out of what you're selling. So that's my only complaint with them, but they end up right here. And again, this list is made based on experiences over the last year, who's buying what my clients are saying, what I'm hearing, so they're going to live on my top list for now. We've got 2 left. So David Weekly is going to take the last spot on the y'all come in, with a solid choice here. Local Texas builder, again, just seeing a pattern, Beautiful design, well thought out floor plans. They do have their own design center here in North Texas, which means if you see it there, you can get it loaded with their standard features, load up really well. You'll also notice if you walk into their models, they are big on talking about their energy efficiency, their framing with 2x6s, strong quality build, and excellent customer service. So they live right there for me, which means Highland, we saved them. They're gonna sit on the brisket perfection, cookie jar on the top shelf with mama. I cannot say enough good things about selling Highlands, from the customer service, from the business side of it, from the value of the home, from the resale value. Like if you can find a Highland, the reason why they sit there for me is if you can find a Highland in your price point, and they have neighborhoods starting, in the high 200s all the way up to millions. If they're in a location that fits for you and a price point that fits for you, I would always strongly consider taking a look at them. So I need to go back and kind of move some things around on my rankings right here. So let's finish up the y'all come in, and let's actually move. So we're gonna go right like this. And David Weekley's gonna come right. See, it's so hard. I feel like I'm splitting hairs, right? Like I feel like it's such a close story with all of these builders, and we're just gonna do it just like this. And I think I'm gonna leave that there. And then of course on the top, it's gonna be Highland at 1. Close second is Perry at 2. And I'm going to leave Windsor and Elmwood. They're going to be kind of tied 3 and 4, only because they're a higher price point. They don't have a lot of inventory on the market. And again, Windsor's only kind of to the east and to the north. Elmwood's only kind of to the west and to the south. So yeah, that is my list. Again, I hope you sat through all of this. I hope that was helpful. Hopefully you got some good notes. If you have questions, I would love to kind of just sit and chat with you. Love to hear your goals, your dreams, and how we can make home building possible. We do it all the time, every single day. Maybe you're looking at this and you're like, oh, we built with one. I'm going to just kind of give you the full screen right there so you can look at it again. Maybe you built with one of these builders and you had a different experience. I would love to hear about it. Drop it in the comments. Maybe you're considering one of these builders and you're like, hey, Zach, what about this? And happy to have any sort of dialogue we can. Maybe you're just like, Zach, you're crazy and dumb. That's fine too. I don't care. Tell me whatever you want to hear. But I think 2025 is going to be a great year to be buying new construction homes. And again, if you're buying from anybody in the top 5 tiers of this list, I would love to help be a part of that. If you get into the van down by the river, maybe not. So hope that was super helpful. I've got a little fidgety thingy there. Yeah. If you missed anything, go back, run it back, watch it again. If you're curious about where to buy based on your budget, we just finished a 4-part series. I'm going to link that right there with the map, picking it all apart so you can feel exactly confident to know, hey, I got this much money to spend. Here's the best places we should look to buy new construction. And as always, if you have questions, our contact information is on this video, but we can't help if you don't reach out. So I hope this was helpful. And I can't wait to hear your thoughts. We'll talk soon.